Hello again, boys and girls. We're going to do religion now. Miss Sweeney just did this whole lesson, and I forgot to hit play. So, do over. Hey, as you know, we are in the liturgical season of Easter. Now, even though Easter has passed, we are still celebrating the season of Easter. And we're in the liturgical season of Easter until Jesus goes to heaven. Now, what does he do this whole time after he's resurrected and given us the gift of new life? What is he out there doing? Did he go to the leaders and say, see, I told you I was God's son, I rose from the dead? No, he didn't do that. Nor did he continue gathering people and teaching. He did his work, but he has a little more to do, and he needs to do it in secret. Yesterday we heard the story of where he appeared for the first time to his friend Mary Magdalene. In the story, Mary Magdalene, remember, she went to the tomb, and she saw the stone was gone, so she went in and saw that Jesus' body wasn't there. So she was very sad and crying, and two angels were there, and they said, why are you crying? And she said, well, because Jesus is gone. Someone took him. And she said, no, he's risen. Go tell others. And then when she left the cave, she saw someone outside, and she thought it was the gardener. And she asked him, did you take my Lord's body? And she was crying. And he said, Mary, why are you crying? And she recognized his gentle and kind voice, and she was so happy to see him. And Jesus told her, go and tell the others that they will see me again. So today we're going to hear another story where Jesus appeared to a couple of his apostles. I'm not going to find the page again because I shut the books that I read. Okay, I found it. Okay. That same day, two of Jesus' disciples were walking from Jerusalem to Emmaus. They were very upset and disturbed, for they did not understand why Jesus had to die. Then, earlier that day, they had heard a report that Jesus had risen from the dead, and they didn't know what to make of it. So they're very confused. I mean, they believed that he was God's son, but they've never seen anybody rise from the dead before, so they're really confused. Okay, they were discussing all of the events that happened to Jesus along the way. While they were walking, a man joined them, and they did not recognize him. One of them stopped and looked at him in disbelief and said, are you the only person around here that doesn't know what's gone on? Because he didn't know what they were talking about. And he said, well, what things? What has gone on? Well, our very good friend Jesus, God's son, he was a wonderful teacher teaching all about God's love. He was taken by the leaders and they crucified him. We were hoping he was going to be our Savior and set us free. Okay, and then he tells the story about Mary, that they were at the tomb and some angels appeared and said, Jesus has risen. So these guys are very confused, and they're telling Jesus the story, but they don't know it's Jesus. In the evening, the two disciples decided to stop where they were for the night. So they're going to camp out. They invited Jesus to stay with them. When they sat down to eat, Jesus took the bread, he blessed it, and he broke it, giving it to them. And guess what? Right at that moment, it clicked. They recognized that it was Jesus. And then Jesus quickly disappeared. So, after that, they went back and told more disciples that Jesus is alive. So here's the picture of the two men walking along the road and Jesus getting in between them. So now this is how the word of Jesus rising from the dead is going to spread. Okay? Just like before he died, all of his miracles and teachings, people told others. And that's what you want to do. You want to share the good news of the Lord. And then other people will share it with other people. But when I say share the good news of the Lord, I don't just mean tell them it, right? No, show them it. Because that is the best way to teach, to show, right? So what you're going to do today is color the story illustration. You can take your time. It shouldn't be work. You can listen to some of the great Jesus songs that I sent your parents a couple of weeks ago. So tomorrow we'll hear another story about when Jesus appeared to more of his disciples. Okay? I'll see you in a little while for science, boys and girls.